The first thing I remember was the beeping. Steady, rhythmic, it anchored me, held me just above the surface of a thick black ocean I'd been drifting in for days. I couldn't move. My eyes fluttered open, but everything was a blur. The ceiling above me was blindingly white. My body ached in places I didn't know could hurt. Then I heard her voice. If I'm being honest, my wife said, voice low, trembling but clear, I was kind of hoping he wouldn't survive. It took a second for the words to register. What? That life insurance payout, she continued. It would have fixed everything. All my problems. And I'd finally be free of him. Free of me? I couldn't move. Not even a twitch. But inside, my heart slammed against my ribs like a prisoner banging on steel bars. Her sister's voice came next, sharp and appalled. Jessica, what the hell? How can you even say that? I forced myself to stay still, pretended to be unconscious. The heart monitor betrayed me, though. It sped up. Beep, beep, beep. Is he waking up? Her sister asked. No, Jessica said quickly. They said it's normal. Reflexes. I shut my eyes tighter. Jessica sighed, then whispered, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that. I'm exhausted. This has been so hard. But the damage was done. I had survived the crash. Barely. The doctors said it was a miracle I wasn't paralyzed or brain dead. But now I wondered if surviving was the real curse. I had loved her for 7 years. I gave up a job offer in another city because she didn't want to move. I took a loan to start her boutique when the banks refused her. I stayed when things got hard. When she cried about bills, I worked overtime. When she got quiet, I held her anyway. And now I knew what I was to her. An inconvenience. A check waiting to be cashed. The days that followed blurred. Nurses came and went, friends visited. Jessica stayed by my side, doting, smiling, kissing my forehead like I was the love of her life. She had no idea I had heard everything. I played my role perfectly. Weak, forgetful, I asked simple questions. What happened? How bad was the crash? And nodded as she fabricated answers she left out the night she wished I hadn't pulled through. When the doctors said I could go home, she celebrated. Made a big show of fluffing the pillows on the couch, cooking my favorite meals, talking about our second chance. I smiled, and I started planning. The first thing I did was check the life insurance policy. It was true. She was listed as the sole beneficiary. $1 million. I had never thought twice about it when I signed it. She was my wife. Who else would I leave it to? I quietly changed that. Then I began untangling our finances. I rerouted my direct deposits into an account she didn't know about. I removed her access from the savings account. I hired a forensic accountant to review the boutique's books. The boutique I had funded. The boutique that, it turns out, hadn't turned a profit in 3 years. Where had the money gone? Shopping, personal credit cards, vacations with friends I'd never met. Then came the affair. I found the messages on her tablet one night when she fell asleep early. He was a supplier, 5 years younger, called her baby and queen, told her he couldn't wait until she was finally free. They talked about the insurance money. That's when I stopped feeling sad and started getting smart. I hired a private investigator, collected photos, screenshots, financial records, enough to bury them both. But I wasn't interested in court. I wasn't going to scream or throw things or demand apologies. Number I was going to give her exactly what she wanted. Freedom. 1 month after I left the hospital, I took Jessica to dinner. A fancy one. She wore the red dress I bought her for our anniversary. She looked radiant. She smiled the whole evening, thinking she'd won, thinking she still had me wrapped around her finger. I toasted her. To new beginnings, I said. She clinked my glass. That night, while she slept, I left. I didn't yell, I didn't cry, I just disappeared. I had rented an apartment across town, already furnished. I'd transferred everything valuable to a secure location. Jewelry, documents, heirlooms, all gone. I left her with an empty house, just like the one she wanted to build without me. Then I mailed her the documents, divorce papers, a letter renouncing any claims to my estate, copies of her messages, photos of her lover leaving our house while I was still on crutches, and a final line, "Congratulations, you're free." Her calls started within the hour. I didn't answer. Then came the emails, the begging, the blaming, the denial. Then came her sister, who didn't know I'd heard everything that night in the hospital. She pleaded for us to meet. I refused. Then the messages turned desperate. I didn't mean what I said. I was scared. I was just venting. "I love you. Please, we can fix this." "But you can't fix a heart you tried to cash in." "It's been a year now. I live in a new city. I started a consulting firm. I travel. I volunteer. I wake up alone, but I wake up free. Sometimes people ask me if I still believe in love. I do, just not with someone who wanted me dead."